Hello again, tiny friends, and we're back with another weekend little video catch up what I'm up to for the, I don't know, 2 people who watch. So how you doing, guys? Okay, so first of all, indicators for the KTM. So what I've done is I've bought these. Now they're too big, I'm not gonna lie. They're okay, but they're pretty giant, but they kind of look sort of factory. I don't mind them. So anyway, they're going on. They're actually from a Honda, and they're not LED because I don't care about all that stuff. I'm hardly ever going to use them because this is a trail bike that just happens to be legal. So that's that, and then we've got our cables from our switch, which if you didn't tune in last week is that one there. So at the back, coming through here, my hat on there. So that's going to be the rear license plate holder. Now I can't find, or I couldn't figure out where to put the indicators. I was going to put them here. Where are you? Right there. I was going to put them here, but that of course is just going to get loads and loads and loads of soot and oil and stuff from the exhaust. So that doesn't really work. So the current thinking is a piece of aluminum bar, which is going to go across here and then sort of bend down, and that's going to create a hole, if you like, or a section in this direction, which we will then drill and put the indicator here. So I think it's going to work. The other thing is where I have these front ones currently mounted is not going to, it's not going to work. Let's have a look, can you see that? Yeah, it's just onto a piece of plastic on the front. So I'll put a picture in, but I found some mounting points for roll bars, 2-inch, actually a bit more, 2 1/4 inch, which I can put here, which is essentially going to give me a point exactly where that is and be super, super sturdy. So I'm actually kind of excited about that because I think it's going to look really good. So they're going to go on there. This is, instead of being on plastic, it's going to be on a piece of billet aluminum, and it's going to look awesome. So that's that. Then we're on to the Carabela. Now, I haven't put the front together yet. I will do. The reason I'm hesitating is that I'm going to have to take it all apart again when I paint the frame. So I'm sort of thinking, should I paint the frame first? But then I'm not quite sure. So I'm umming and ahhing about that a little bit. But what we could do is the seat. So this is the original seat with its cover off, and it's giant. As you can see, it's a giant seat because it's made for more than one person. And what we're going to do is a trials bike. So I was going to discard the seat altogether, and then I watched Michael Waller from Britannia, and he uses original seat pans, and that kind of gave me the idea is maybe I should try and modify what I've got. So obviously the foam is trash, so let's get rid of that. And that gives us the seat pan, which you'll see is wobbling around because I've already cut it. But what I did is I measured in a couple of places, and essentially I chopped this section out. This is all going to fall because I'm doing this with one hand. So I chopped this section out, so that's gone. And then this is going to go there, which actually is proportionally really nice. I'm super happy with it. And the front actually has a locking device on it, and that's actually locked in. So I retain the front locking device, which is great. And yeah, so you know what? I mean, it's not so bad, is it? And at the back, what I had to do is I had to notch it out. So here you can see this. So what I've done, let me get you straight. So I've notched that out. I may have to go a little deeper, a little further with that. I'm not 100% sure, but I did some measuring, and if I put rubber grommets on those mounting points in the center of the screen right there, then when this goes down, this is just a touch higher. You can see I'm holding it up. It would go there, but it'd just be a little touch higher. And then this thing will come in, and it will pretty much be perfect. So that's exciting. Now I'm going to have this I'm going to have this sandblasted because it's pretty grim, and I'm going to have to chop out and repair a few sections. But the good news is I've got more of it. So where a section is particularly grim, I'm hoping I can maybe find like that bit there, and I can chop it out with a Dremel and go from there. You would think that I would have cut this with a Dremel or a, I don't know what you call them, the grinder wheel thingies, but I'm scared to death of them, so I actually did that with a hacksaw. And it's relatively straight, which is, I don't know, must have been a fluke. So there you go. So that's that. So that's the seat, which is, I'm actually pretty excited about that. So in order to put this seat together, we're going to have to weld it. So what I've done is I've made myself the tiny garage welding center, which is here with my new Flux 135. And what I did is I got an old garden hose kind of keeper here, and all of these are gloves, these are cheapy gloves that I got that seem to have good reviews on Amazon. They're actually barbecue gloves, but they've got Kevlar in them and stuff, and they were super cheap. So I'm going to give them a go. And then I've got my helmet here. And then I've got my own little welding station, you can see. So all I have to do is pull the plug, put it into the receptacle, which is right there. And then I use my little portable table doohickey, which I've got here. It's a little Black & Decker, I'll try and get out of the sun. Little Black & Decker collapsible table. And hopefully we'll have a little welding station where we can actually do some half reasonable welding. Now, flux core is supposed to be quite good for thin metal, or so they say. Now, I know TIG's better and blah blah blah, but I don't know, this is tiny garage, not well-equipped garage. So it is what it is. We're going to give it a go. One of the things that I have here, oops, hello, come on, is, so I'm going to cut this in half and weld it back together. And the reason I'm going to do that is I have no idea how to weld this together. So the very first thing I'm going to weld is going to be a test, because if this ends up being the very first thing I ever weld, I don't know if it's going to go very well. The other thing is, if I show you inside here, you will see that there are spaces. So what I intend to do in these spaces is actually put some plate in there, which will sort of thicken it up a little bit, kind of like a biscuit join. And then when that goes together, I'm hoping it's going to be sort of, let me switch hands here. When that goes together, there'll be a piece of metal in here, possibly one here, possibly one here, which will aid in the joining. So yeah, so that's where we're at with that. I'm hoping the plate for the KTM arrives in the next week or so. I'm going to get this sandblasted. I need to do that before I weld it, because it's supposed to be clean, and I'm not quite sure how much of this I'm going to have to patch. But then I'm going to put some foam on it, and I'm probably going to have a guy, I know a guy, he's amazing with fabric, and I'll probably have him cover it for me, because if I try and do it, it's gonna look really Mickey Mouse. So there you go, that's where we're at. A little bit more progress, and I will see you guys next weekend. I hope you have a great week ahead, stay safe, and let's go from there. Ciao.